What's going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're all having yourselves a lovely day wherever you're at whenever you're watching this. We're going to be jumping into some SCP here with the Vulcan. We're going to check out SCP-3800 many grandparents ago Euclid entropic humanoid SCP. All the words. So yeah, links will be down below in the description to the original video without my commentary and reaction into the Vulcan's channel. So please do me a favor. If you enjoy this video as we go through it, go over to his channel, hit that like button on this video. Check out all the content he's got there. He has a lot of great content for the SCP universe. So, you know, hit that sub button on his channel if you haven't already. Check out his Patreon, check out any kind of member benefits and stuff, any kind of sponsor stuff he's got going on, if you want to take your support for his channel to the next level. If you'd like to join us as I do these reactions live, which I am doing right now with my YouTube members, there is a join button underneath the video as well as a link in the description. So you've been around the channel for a while. If you would like to take your support for my channel to the next level as well, check all that stuff out and see if it would have any interest for you. But regardless, thank you guys very much for taking the time out of your busy day to come in and hang out and watch this video. Hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy your time here in the channel. So yeah, with all that said, let's jump into it. Again, SCP-3800 many grandparents ago by the Vulcan. Audio seems good, but if I have to boost it, some of this video's been quiet lately.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Sounds good.
My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-3800. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-3800 is contained at Site-93, located near the Eurasian Pole of Inaccessibility in Xinjiang, China. It is to be kept in a standard containment locker.
Interesting.
Currently, a colony of SCP-3800-1 is contained on a previously uninhabited archipelago designated Outpost 3800, see addendum, located at the following coordinates. Hidden camera.
Wow, it's interesting that they actually gave the coordinates and they weren't redacted.
Have been installed at various locations on the outpost to monitor and study the colony's activity. Currently, roughly 34%, 4.5 kilometers of the outpost's landmass is covered in SCP-3800-1 structures. The colonization of Outpost 3800 is not expected to increase the range of SCP-3800 to dangerous levels. Testing held at Outpost 3800 of any kind must be approved by 2 Level 4 personnel. Additional SCP-3800-1 instances that manifest for any reason are to be tranquilized and transported to Outpost 3800.
Manifest? So, like, is that just their word for reproduction? Like, 3800-1s just appear out of thin air?
Emergency protocols to transport SCP-3800 to Lunar Outpost 45 have been arranged and will be enacted should SCP-3800's radius grow past 2,500 kilometers.
So they just send these bros to the moon if too many of them start appearing on this island? What? I mean, I assume Lunar Outpost, that being, you know, lunar being moon, I would assume that means, yeah, I mean, I guess Outpost 45 could just be called the Lunar Outpost 45, you know? Anyway.
Description. SCP-3800 is an oil and acrylic print of Sean Tan's They Came by Water set in a wooden frame. It appears to be an original print. The title, artist signature, and identification number,
I guess, right?
283 out of 500, are all present at the bottom of the print. SCP-3800's anomalous effect manifests when it is located within roughly 800, previously thought to be 100, kilometers of any coastline, seashore, or ocean. Should this occur, instances of SCP-3800-1 will emerge from the ocean at an hourly rate of 5 to 20 instances per kilometer of coastline encompassed by SCP-3800's radius.
So wait, someone wrote a book and the book has an anomalous effect of when it's near a coastline, these creatures just start appearing? That's creepy. So, like, do they already exist and are in the ocean, or is it a situation where, like, Does someone have to read the book near the ocean and that like triggers them? Or is, I mean, from this description, it sounds like the book just needs to be near a coastline and these things just show up. So like, I guess if it's in proximity, do these things like feel called to it and they have to come there? You know what I'm saying? Or does this book create them coming out of the water?
Instances of SCP-3801 appear to be Caucasian humanoids with several physical abnormalities. Most notably, instances lack mouths, nostrils, genitalia, mammaries, anuses, and body hair.
They have no mouths. They can't poop or pee from the sound of it. Does it say no nostrils? So I guess no breathing, no hair. Like, how are these things alive?
Additionally, all instances share traits of dwarfism and show little signs of higher intelligence. They possess no form of written or spoken communication and lack any sort of religion, trade system, or hierarchy. Following initial manifestation, instances will walk to shore and begin establishing
Sounds
a
very
colony.
Lovecraftian, yeah.
When in a group, instances of SCP-3801 will attempt to establish a series of structures away from humans, aggressive fauna, or inhospitable areas. Specifically, instances will attempt to build shelters out of available materials and begin farming any available flora. SCP-3801 instances will become agitated and hostile if impeded from creating these structures or if they are destroyed. Additionally, instances have shown the ability to craft and utilize rudimentary tools such as clubs, axes, and digging sticks out of stone, wood, and grasses, but appear to be unable to create or use more advanced technology. Once instances of SCP-3801 have established their initial colony, they continue to expand it, building additional farms and shelters further out from their original settlement point.
Sounds like someone's playing like Age of Mythology or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And like, these are just the peons that are here, like, you know, as the builders. Like, what? So there are these like humanoid-esque creatures that have no mouths or like orifices. They don't seem to be able to breathe. They can't communicate. They're not really intelligent in any way. They just appear out of the water when this book is within a certain radius, and they just start building towns and farms. And they get pissed off if they can't build these towns and farms. So like, I mean, it sounds shitty, but I mean, it's like, is this just like free labor to start, you know, for the SCP Foundation to use to like farm food? You know what I'm saying? Like, can they just let these guys, you know, build up colonies in various islands and they just sit there and produce all kinds of goods for them, right? Like,
Instances almost never engage in activity that does not benefit their colony and usually spend their time gathering materials, building structures, or tending to farms. As the colony's population grows, instances show a progressively greater ability to clear obstacles preventing them from expanding their territory, such as thick flora, animal territories, and man-made structures. However, SCP-3801 has never attempted to cross bodies of seawater,
so they can't
following
make
their
boats.
Initial manifestation, and appear unable to do so. For each square kilometer of land that SCP-3801 incorporates into their territory, SCP-3800's radius of effect increases by roughly 5 kilometers. This radius also increases by 5 kilometers per day whenever no active SCP-3801 colonies exist. Due to continental constraints, a radius past 2,645 kilometers would result in an exponential increase in SCP-3800's range and uncontrolled SCP-3801 manifestations thereafter, leading to a possible RK-class restructuring scenario or NK-class end-of-the-world scenario should it be left on Earth.
So like literally, like when these colonies get too large, they literally just ship them up to the moon. And so like, what do they do with them up there? I mean, like, I guess they apparently can, is there like dome? I know the SCP has like facilities and whatnot on the moon, but like, are there like just like domes out there where they can like wander around the surface and create their farms? Are they able to make like actual goods and stuff on the moon? And again, like, is the Foundation just using these things to create, you know, goods and food and stuff for them? Like,
initial discovery. SCP-3800 was initially discovered on 02/03/11 following a 112 call from Useless Loop, Western Australia, with reports of strange men building houses in the middle of the road. Once an anomaly was confirmed in the area, Mobile Task Force Sigma-16, Dusty's Goons, were tasked with investigation, containment, and cleanup of the area. Initial contact with SCP-3800-1 was made on the same day, with structures created by the instances present for roughly 4 kilometers along the eastern coast of Kararang. Once cleanup of the structures began, SCP-3801 instances became hostile and attempted to attack Mobile Task Force personnel, though not causing any serious injuries. All instances, and those that manifested thereafter, were tranquilized and transported to Site-23 for containment. While Mobile Task Force 16 was stationed in the area, SCP-3801's radius of manifestation grew large enough to encompass much of the western Kararang coast as well. A second colony manifested there, and expanded unobserved for over 16 hours due to the small population density in the area. By the time this colony was discovered, the instance's manifestation radius had grown rapidly. Following this...
So, like, again, these things just kind of come out of the ocean whenever this, I guess, book is in a certain radius of it. Could they, like, I don't know, make an underground facility and just house the book there and, like, contain these creatures in a certain radius around the book at the bottom of the ocean? You know what I'm saying? Is there a situation where, like, they could put this book so far down in some kind of deep ocean bottom facility that, you know, the pressure gets so great that these creatures can't exist down there, kind of a situation? So as they manifest, they're just being destroyed? Or again, does the Foundation have some other kind of ulterior motive with these things? I don't know.
This event, additional forces were called to aid in containment. SCP-3801 continued to manifest off the coast of Western Australia for roughly 2 weeks. During this time, SCP-3800's radius had grown to encompass the entirety of Kararang's coastline, along with portions of Nanga, Dirk Harthog Island, and Francois Perron National Park. Due to the increasing radius of manifestation, emergency containment procedures were devised for the evacuation of Perth and other Western Australian cities, along with a complete quarantine of the Western Australian coast. On 15/03/11, SCP-3800 was discovered in an SCP-3801 shelter in northern Tamala and brought inland to Site-23, ceasing SCP-3801's manifestation. Due to inconsistencies between SCP-3801's initial manifestation location and SCP-3800's recovery location, it was determined that SCP-3800 had been moved at least once, likely by an instance of SCP-3801. Additionally, the structure...
So does that mean they at least understand that they're being created by this book, so they moved it to a more optimal location so that more of them could be manifested?
In which SCP-3800 was located also contained a number of unusual items. See Addendum 2. The remaining SCP-3801 structures were destroyed soon after. Total losses numbered at dollars in damage, injured civilians, and casualties. Amnestics were administered to individuals. All captured SCP-3801 instances were placed under medically induced comas and contained at Site-23. Addendum. Roughly 5 months following initial containment, several instances of SCP-3801 manifested off the Great Australian Bight. Following containment and subsequent remanifestation of the instances, it was determined that SCP-3800's radius of effect had increased from an approximate 100 kilometers to a minimum 800 kilometers.
Wow.
It was hypothesized that SCP-3800's effect radius increases whenever no active SCP-3801 colonies exist. This was proven following multiple tests of SCP-3801 manifestation. All newly manifested instances, along with the instances contained in Site-23, were transported to what would become Outpost 3800 and awakened from their comas. Following the creation of Outpost 3800, SCP-3800 was transported to its current location at Site-93 using the SCPS Christoph.
Now we're going to look into what these
recovered materials
were.
Additional objects were found in the shelter where SCP-3800 was initially discovered. However, SCP-3800 was the only object that showed any anomalous capabilities. These items included one incomplete ocean navigation chart, one handwritten note, and one non-functional compass. All three.
So it sounds like they were possibly getting ready to try to make some kind of ship and go out into the ocean and expand. But it also, you know, these things were dated, so they might have just been items they found at the bottom of the ocean that they just collected themselves and kept. Or maybe these are humanoids that, like, these are like the remnants of dead pirates, sailors, whatever, that had, you know, drowned or died out in the sea, and their bodies were morphed into whatever these creatures are.
The items were dated to the late 1500s. The note appeared to be a ripped-out diary page and is written in Portuguese. Most of the note has been water damaged and is illegible. It is as follows, translated into English. Day 133. It was a mistake to come here, for these lands are already inhabited. Their cities go on for as far as the eye can see. The rest of the crew entered a day ago, and only Thomas has returned to the ship. At least, it feels like Thomas. He said that the natives intend to send a message to the children and asked me to come with him. Said I could either join the crew or die with the ship. I told him to give me a day to decide, and he returned to the city. I believe my decision is made. Even now, I see them preparing their ships across the horizon. I must act now. The captain brought a sample from last year's outbreak, just in case. It won't survive long outside the ship unless I take it upon myself to bring it into the city. I see no other option. We were doomed once we reach the shore. I will bury my personal effects here, and should... Illegible for the remainder of the note.
Interesting.
This concludes today's lecture. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
This article was written by Hi, I'm Steel. Links are in the description. Interesting. So yeah, that was SCP-3800 Many Grandparents Go Euclid Ectoentropic Humanoid SCP by the Vulcan. Links down below in the description, as always, to his channel and to the original video. So it almost sounds like these creatures were once human, and they may have been mutated by, you know, some kind of object, this SCP object. I don't know. And then, yeah, it also sounds like potentially that these creatures may have once had a much larger and vaster civilization, and they were destroyed in some way, or at least lessened. I don't know. Very interesting. This is one that I kind of need to go back through and I guess relook at some of the things to really get some more thoughts on it, because it seems like there could be a lot of different ways this could go. But I mean, it also, like I said, right, like if these things just keep coming out of nowhere and they're just creating farms and patchwork civilizations and they aren't harming anyone, right? Is this a situation where like the Foundation would utilize them in certain ways to you know, again, free cheap labor that is automatically doing, you know, farming and whatnot. So like, is the and they're being sent to the moon. So like, is the Foundation using them in some other kind of way beyond just studying them? Or what? And then, like I said as well, you know, is there a situation where, like, I know they have, you know, deep water under, you know, ocean bases. So like, could the Foundation not just transfer this SCP anomalous thing that's drawing these creatures in or creating them or whatever to, you know, a certain depth where they can't exist, where the pressure would be so great that they would just be destroyed and would not become a problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Feels like there could be better ways to deal with this, but it also feels like there might be some more things behind the scene that we may not necessarily know about. So, but interesting tale nonetheless. That again leaves me with more questions than answers, but generally those are the best stories when they do that. So like I said, SCP-3800, many grandparents ago, Euclid, ectoentropic, I keep wanting to say ento, but ectoentropic humanoid SCP by the Vulcan. Links are down below to all his stuff, so check it all out. If you enjoyed the videos we went through, be sure to go over to his channel, hit that like button, and hit that sub button on his channel if you haven't already. If you enjoy all the SCP content that he puts out, and he makes a lot of great SCP content. If you'd like to join us as I do these reactions live, like I'm doing right now with my YouTube members, we would love to have you guys come in and hang out and join our discussions. There's a join button underneath the video, as well as links in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. So yeah, if you've been around the channel for a while, want to take your support to the next level, you can check all that stuff out. See if it would have any interest for you. You can get early access to videos, priority any kind of reaction requests you might have, all that kind of stuff. So check all that stuff out. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you are indeed still watching here at the end of the video, it means a lot for, you know, to you guys you watching the video all the way through. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you all for the support. And yeah, hope you're having yourselves a lovely and wonderful day.